Okay, there we go.
Meek Mill fights for his life before his Afro Nation show. Meek Mill fights for his life before his Afro Nation show.
Oh, y'all in here. My bad, y'all. Y'all in here. I'm being ghetto looking at this thing. That's love what they doing in Ghana, man. All righty. We about to go ahead and get started. Oh man. What's happening, family? How y'all feeling, man? We here. We done made it to the top of the year. Y'all done survived. And we about to go into, some of this yearly wrap up. Blessings and opportunities. All right, let me send out the link real quick. And then we're going to get started. Okay, let me add that here. If y'all can, what was your favorite part of 2022? I would love to know. What has been the most memorable thing of 2022? Okay. So y'all know in these type of videos, when I do this, I come here to share a game, come here to share my reflections, experiences, the whole nine. So, I want you all to be here engaged. And if you have any questions, ask any questions that may come to mind as well. Let me see. All right, now we can get started. Boom. So I got that there for IG. Oops, let's get started. Got that there for IG. So we locked in. All right, cool. How we feeling? How we feeling? How we feeling? Come talk to me, man. What we doing? What we building? All right, boom. Let me send out this link to my community. They want to join me this morning live. I want to get everybody in here today. So if you go ahead, all right. What's up, family? How you feeling over there? All right, I'm done. All right, so I got a good question already. When will I be doing the show in Oakland? So I'm working on doing the show in Oakland soon. I had a good conversation with the good brother Dame Dash, and I was thinking about bringing out Dame Dash to Oakland. So that's something that's been on the radar. We've been talking about a lot. There's a lot of events. There's a lot of opportunity for 2023 already. You understand me? That I want to get tapped into. Um, but I got a question for you all. What was the best part of 2022 for you? That is the starter question of this session. That was the starter question of this session. All right, so I'm gonna start with reflecting on my biggest accomplishments of the year. You understand me? Some of my biggest accomplishments of the year, I would have to say, would undoubtedly be starting high level conversations. Come on, man. There's always somebody in here trying to call. Okay. All right, we back. Y'all can hear me? Let's make sure we clear. So my biggest accomplishment of the year was starting high level conversations, and in starting high level conversations, um, just to be, give you all some rawness and transparency with it. Um, it started from, first of all, I had I started high level conversations actually a couple years back, and that was a show I did with my younger brother Jack Hella Classic, and it started off during the start of the pandemic. And I wanted to give some high level perspective of what was going on, just to give people, you know, really some critical thinking on the situation at hand, right? Maybe lay out some predictions and give some warnings, or teach people how to prepare, things of that nature. And so, that one, we did that video, we did that on the podcast, but the podcast was never consistent, right? But the podcast used to do, I think, good numbers for inconsistent podcasts, which let me know that people actually wanted to hear my voice and hear my perspective. And that's usually how I go about starting any business and anything that I do is, testing the waters. I test the waters with a lot of different things to see if they work. Some things work, some things fail, and then I get back to it and we continue to work. Right. So, starting high level conversations. I remember having a conversation with Troy of Earn Your Leisure, and we was talking, I'm talking like, yo, let's do a show. You understand me? I think he may have suggested, I suggested, I remember asking them, like, what's the numbers that y'all doing? What's a hit show? And I think my numbers weren't there, but they was close. So that let me know that, oh, if I can do this through inconsistency, imagine what I can do if I was actually consistent with the work ethic and I put down my own creative brilliance behind it, put together a budget, put together the team and production. And so I started to grow a vision from there, right? And so from there, as I started to grow this vision, I sat down with my partner, Amechi, and Amechi is the one who does the production, right, and direction of the show. And so I sat down him, I told him my vision, and I've been working with him for about, going on like 5-6 years now. We've been working together for a minute. So I sat down with him and I told him my vision for the production, and we started to lay it out how we wanted to do the B-roll, how we didn't want to shoot it like a podcast. We wanted to shoot it like a show. We wanted to shoot it like a documentary. We wanted to shoot it like a movie, right? And so as we started to begin, I remember tweeting out, I said that this is actually going to be a format that's going to be copied. You understand me? And sure enough, we dropped the first episode, and I wanted the first episode to start off as grounded, right? So it started off with Keenan Beasley, and that one was about like wealth building and financial literacy and things of that nature. And it started off, it was like came in hot. You understand me? It came in hot. It did a few 100,000 views, and that's really one of my favorite episodes, value wise. You understand me? Just because I feel like if you really listen to that episode, there's a lot of blueprint in that episode. Um, and so, it's not as, fantastical and magical as some of the other episodes, but it's a lot of logic in that episode. And then if you take that as a blueprint, I feel like that's something that really can change, the culture and the scene that's out here. And so from there, though, I knew we had to switch it up a little bit. So I said, I didn't want to do something that competes with everybody else, right? I want to create a lane of my own. And what I do is anytime I do something and I'm thinking about creating a lane of my own, you got to think about what's not already there. There are so many things that are already out there in the culture. So I don't need to copy that, right? I need to find something that I can be the first of, or find something that I can do it different. So I'm not competing with anybody else, right? So I look into my own background for that, right? I've already had these ideas. So, when I first started teaching, I always taught about a multitude of different subjects, from metaphysics to science to psychology, sociology, right? Just culture, paradigm shifts, right? The knowledge be everywhere. So that's why people be trying to figure out what does 19 keys do. And it's like, yo, I'm a human being that lives. I use my mind, and people find value in the things that I talk about because I'm creating conversation that's usually not being had on large platforms, or just not given the high level perspective that I feel like it deserves to. So we live in a culture that is often ran by, entertainment and gossip and, just BS. So I said, let's talk about something that's different. And I know, number one, the audience are not just like entertainment and gossip and BS. We are interested in a multitude of different things, right? So we're interested in science, we're interested in aliens, right? We're interested in metaphysics, we're interested in everything that you could think of. And so the next episode ended up being with Billy Carson, and that episode ended up becoming a cult classic. Over 4.3 million views to date. At High Level Conversation got somewhere around 20 million or something just on the video side. Shout out to Master Investor. Master, let me know if you got 5 minutes to jump in, and just let me know what was your greatest moment of 2022. That's all I really want to get from you, if you got a moment to share. So putting that together, number one, I realized that it's gonna take a lot of money. So I ended up having to shell out all my own money, doing the production, because we don't do it in one place, and the production requires, quality. It requires you to put up some of your capital. And I think that's probably one of the greatest separating factors. A lot of people be afraid to put up that money because, you don't always know, when you go get that money and when that back end go come back, right? And so that's one thing that I learned about fast. You got to have a business plan for everything that you do. And so, we didn't start getting I don't even think Billy Carson was the second episode. I'm pretty sure I got that wrong, but we did not get, it was Mike Rashid was the second one. We did not get, no money in the first few months. So it's like, one thing I wanted people to, be cognitive of is the fact that, can you request me, Master Investor? One thing I wanted people to be cognitive of the fact is like, yo, we essentially doing this for free for the people, but we putting up our own money, so we paying for y'all to see this, right? Now, there's different. Sometimes a person, you can just turn on your camera and you can make a show and there's no overhead cost. But this was like literally, a production. Like, we have to pay editors, we have to pay graphic designers, we have to put together the set. You're right. We have people coming. Sometimes we're traveling all over the place, and people don't think about really the time, the research, the effort, the energy, and everything that goes into really creating a show. Right? You just watch the show, and that's it for you. But on the other end, for people that's creating the show, it's a lot of hard work on the back end, and then sometimes you have to wait to even see a return on your investment, right? And so doing it, I knew that, let's first of all, if we want to talk about whatever we want to talk about, then we can't wait on the normal model of ad revenue, even though we have ads on the audio side. I know y'all hear when Troy do the ads over there. But we have to put in our own commercials for our own products. So I said off top, let's leverage the fact that we're creating media, right? Put out our own products and create commercials for our own products in our own show, which is a family business. My whole family works for Goldwater. And now the show's feeding the family, and now the products is producing the profit, and that profit is being poured back into creating the show. So we automatically have to think about a business model that create an ecosystem that fed into itself, right? And that started to work proper. And so starting off, we wasn't really getting paid any money from ads or YouTube. So we had to wait months and months before I seen anything that I feel like, okay, finally, this is paying off a little bit from just the video side. So, but that's beautiful because we're able to deliver to people a free product that you all can just learn, you can engage, you get free information, right? You don't have to pay a dime, right? And we can benefit as well. And I feel like those are some of the best business model when you can deliver a lot of value and the customer doesn't have to pay anything, right? And you are the customer, the person that consumes the content, right? So some people look at a show as a fan base. I look at it as a customer base. Like these are customers, they're consuming a product. The only difference is your customer is getting a product for free, and that's fine. So now we at different stages of the business to where, we are like 22 episodes in. It's proven a track record of success. It's proven that people actually want to see this. And then you realize, like, damn, we did this, but it's still, it's not like a lot of people at first are still reaching out to be like, Keys, I want your show on the network. I want to offer you this amount of millions for it and things of that nature. And so you got to be patient with that process, and you got to realize that any value that you're looking for, you have to build it yourself, right? And I think a lot of people automatically look for somebody else to recognize their value rather than figuring out a way to where you can actually leverage that value yourself. Master, let's get it in this week. I'm putting it on my schedule. I'm marking it out. But please request me. I got you. So, I just want to say that to you all because I'm teaching some of the students in the BWO, or we're going to teach. We've been teaching other things, but I want to teach, just creating your show. I'm not going to call it a podcast. Okay. The brother is fly too. He was ready.
My God, what's poppin'? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm happy for you, bro.
Man,
I've
likewise.
always said from day one, every time, stop holding back. You came out and killed this year, y'all.
Yes, sir. Yes,
you came
sir.
out and dominated. So I'm proud of you. And everybody else, I appreciate y'all being here. But yeah, I always tell him when we was on stage, I'm like, go out there and kill everybody.
That's a fact.
Don't hold back for nobody. Go destroy every time.
And I want to say that because
I'm happy to see you elevate.
Not to cut your wisdom, but you one of the only people that first did that. You understand me? Somebody that was like, I'm already charged up, but you put the battery in my back. And it was no ego. It was just like, bro, and you got one of the greatest sayings that you tell people, you are the greatest, right? And you will even to selfishly say you're the greatest amongst all of us. And I always tell you, like, chill, right? But the fact that you say that is so powerful, and the ability to edify each other. And, I really think that's a powerful practice, because then I'll be at shows and I got to put your voice in my head because ain't nobody else going to tell you that shit, right? Everybody else, they go watch, see what you do, and hope you're not as great. Yeah,
I mean to cut you off, and because if you see something, and I always told you a couple things I saw, your leadership ability. I was real big on the conscious community back in the day when that was moving. I saw the mistakes there with you being from Oakland. I'm a diehard Tupac fan, so I see that Pac in you too.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, go crazy. Same with trap. Like when it comes to the fundamentals and breaking down the company, nobody fucking with trap, including me.
Yeah,
but
trap
I think
is crazy.
we have to get more comfortable in being like, bro, this is your moment. Go up there, go dominate, be the best, and I still need my media consult. Can I get
Bro,
that?
let's schedule that this week. This week we're gonna lock it in.
I'm gonna be in LA Tuesday too, matter of fact.
Oh yeah, we
You
do
gonna
it
be
in
on West
person
Coast?
then. We do it in person. There's
Okay.
there's so much that I would add on to the consultation now anyway that it's gonna be so much better.
It worked
You
out
understand me?
better. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much better. We actually put together
I
a
gotta
whole
get some gold
format.
water too.
Yes, sir. We got everything for you. You understand?
Yeah.
Everything on me. But yeah, so let me ask you, what was your best moment of 2022? What was the most proudest accomplishment this year?
Business or personal?
First, let's go with business.
Being able to help people get results in a recession and helping people in Red Panda be able to win while the market is down. Like that's, of course, Madison Square was dope. InvestFest was dope. Like you and Trap allowed me to even get in a space to be able to kill that because you poured that back into me. I was nervous as hell this InvestFest. Like, going after Tyler Perry, I'm like,
yeah. No,
like,
but you killed it though.
Magical.
I
I had to.
The stage presence that you set is now an expectation of Ian that there's going to be more than him just walking out. You understand? He's coming out with the team. There's going to be theatrics. It's entertaining. It's like you watching WWE or something. You understand me? And your favorite wrestler coming out. So I think that was powerful just of you having a vision beyond just going up there as a speaker, but going up there like Kanye West. You understand me? And I feel like there's so much more to, I believe, what you want to do in this space. You understand me? In a visionary way. I feel like I want to see you do that this year.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm looking at it, if they got to pick between me and Drake, me and Burna, one thing I always tell everybody, like when you're looking at a business, you're not competing against you, you're competing against everybody. If Kim wake up tomorrow and decide, I want to teach people how to invest, and she pairs up with The Rock, I'm in fucking trouble.
Yeah.
So you have to always be looking at your competition. It's a good lesson. Like write down who are your dream opponents that could defeat you.
That's a fact.
If Floyd had the acumen and got with Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, and Trap. Like Trap my guy, so I'll be like, yo, what's up, man? Put me on the panel.
Yeah.
But you have to look at what do you need to do to make like the stage shows once in a lifetime. Because like watching Burna shows, big Busta Rhymes, it's like if you're gonna spend your money and your weekend with us, I gotta at least give you a show with fire information. And that's one thing I want to see in the space too. I want to see more people give like more actionable items for it's just not inspiration. Like, no, you can walk away an hour later and go polish it and begin to make some money. So for me, that was like.
No, I like that. I like that push. That push of, higher action items and accountability. I feel like this space is I put out the list, and the list wasn't to ruffle everybody's feathers.
It was genius though.
But the list was, listen,
genius.
It was about more. So look, we never argued about these things. We never got angry about that ever before in the culture. We've only argued about rappers lists before. You understand me? So to create a new, wave to where it's like, no, I'm the greatest financial person. No, I have the best business. No, I've had the most impact. That's what we should be competing over if we're going to compete and put our egos into anything. So
I look at it from a market perspective. You were very smart in who you put on lists and then who you didn't put on for the engagement. If we're going to talk business and engagement, when people hit me like, man, Keys left you off the influencer thing. I'm like, he left like 50 people.
There's a lot of people.
Andrew Tate at the bottom was smart.
It was a lot of people. But that's what I'm saying. Like the list wasn't even, it wasn't a personal list. Personal list is different. I mean, like for that cultural impact one anyway, like that one was really about like, who had the most wave of like controversy and conversation and what I'm saying? And so like Andrew Tate, the dude just got locked up. You understand me? Yesterday, but dude was literally the most Googled man on earth. So that's not me that put him on that list. He put himself on that. Kevin Samuels, that man, when it comes to relationships, he was the most talked about man on earth. So it's like, what you want me? Deion Sanders niggas is still mad at him. You know what I'm saying?
Huge impact.
Now, if we talking like actual like good impact and things of that nature, that's a different conversation. And so, but what I realize is that we are at this infancy stage of critical thinking, right? So we don't know how to think non-emotional. We don't know how to think with discernment, and we're not high-level thinkers, so we can only think one dimension.
Yep. And taking the emotion out of it.
Right.
Like, the other side of that coin too is like if you felt slighted by being on the list, it's like then work harder, build your plan, and see what you can do to have more impact. Like for me, it's all about getting other people the result, but a lot of it is ego.
Yeah.
So like a book that I love, what's that? Ego is the enemy. And even me, people see me flare up and nobody fucking with it up, but that's rooted in pain. Like when you're actually helping the people and then you start to do that shadow work, inner work. Like I always said, like Instagram became the new living room for the Black family. They end up destroying all of our Black family relationships. Like just spending more time with my son throughout this holiday season, which brings me to like my biggest personal moment of 2022. It's like that shit don't matter that I got left off a list. If my son thinks I'm amazing, what difference do a list make?
Yeah.
But personally, I think my biggest achievement that I'm most proud of is making sure that Xander's mom and I are like on one accord and like are able to have an amazing relationship. Because it's been tough for the last year. Like didn't speak probably for 10 months. Towards the man, I have to look at myself and be like, look, if I chose to have a child with this person, and I'm big on generational wealth, how can I not be in communication with his mom and put my ego to the side to make sure that I facilitate a great relationship with her?
Yeah. That's a fact.
Real
That is probably one of the biggest things that most people suffer with: family dynamics, relationships, especially when it comes to baby mother, baby father. You know, and I recently, and I got to look more into it, but it just makes sense. There was a speech that was given on how when a child is raised with a father in a two-parent dynamic, they have a greater chance of success versus
way more confidence,
being raised with a single mother. So fathers in a household is actually fathers in a household in the two-parent dynamic is more important than any other structure you can put together, right? And so, you know, that's not something that's arguable. You know, that's life, you know, and you have to take that. But at the same time, I want to give you your flowers. There's many people I really want to give flowers, and it's like once you put out something like that, and I did it so fast where I was just like, okay, let me think about top people.
But it's an honest list when you, because we can be, I didn't text you and be like, bro, why you leave me up? Like,
yeah.
Mike Rashid had a big impact. Kevin had a big impact. Charlamagne had a big impact.
Yeah. Clean our full. Like there's
tons of people.
So many people. You understand me?
Regardless of what people think, like, and that's the key point I want to give everyone, even if you don't like Andrew Tate or Kevin Samuels or Umar, how they deliver information to put the candy in the medicine. It's key. Even when I be like, yo, even the Master Investor title. My name is Ian Dunlap, born ass man. Greatest investor this generation. I had to frame and teach people how to think about the results I was given. That's not an ego thing. But once you like look at all these dynamics, and you know, I even hate the social media part, but I'm learning. And that's what I love when you came out with the like high quality production. We talked about a lot of stuff behind the scenes, like look and aesthetic, how important it was. Like you have to come out with a hit.
Yeah.
First album got to be Illmatic.
Yeah.
Without trying, like you got to put out a classic first time. So for everyone watching, if you feel slighted, you shouldn't. But just see what you can do. Now, I heard you earlier talking about like finding the gaps. When I came in, there was nobody Black that was comfortable being Black talking about investing.
Yeah.
Other than trap. Find your lane. And there's a whole bunch of other pockets. Parenting, relationships, even the content. I'm gonna be real. The thing that I don't see from enough content creators is being honest and vulnerable about the trials that they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
Not the 3 ways my business failed in 2021 and now I'm on a, like, that's not real.
I would love to sit down and have that conversation. I think I think it's good. I think it humanizes the process because the amount of work that I put in on the back end to see anybody criticize it feels disrespectful when you criticizing the result of all of my work, all of my ups and downs, all
Over
of
your
my
lifetime.
trials, figuring out my studying, my research, my process. But I also feel like, the most beautiful thing is the mistakes. But it's what you do afterwards. Like there's nobody that we look up to in culture, in business, right, that hasn't made more mistakes than us. It's what they did after those mistakes that we celebrate. So it's like, do you want a man to die on the cross of his first mistakes, second mistakes, or do you want him to be able to resurrect from that, learn from it, and then teach others so that they don't have to go through the same?
Even the stuff that when Andrew Tate got locked up, the people I saw rejoicing. I'm like, I don't know about y'all, but if you grew up in the hood, you wish jail upon nobody.
Right. We got to stop doing that.
And like, but you can see the pain of broken home. You can see that he hates that his family structure was not there.
Yeah.
It gets Max and the money and all the women, because any of us have been dogs of players. Like, this shit is overrated.
The most talked about people of 2022 was, and I didn't even put Elon Musk on the list, which is, I thought about it later. I was tripping. Elon
should have been number one.
Elon would have knocked everybody off the list. Elon and Ye and Andrew Tate was the most talked about people of 2022. Right. So like when you're talking about
a lot of pain there too, though.
Yeah, a whole lot. But I feel like what the world is getting access to is really just seeing how the world works in front of you. Right. But most people don't want to see that. The 85% of the planet don't really want to know what's going on. And what Elon does, he makes so much moves in front of you, like Donald Trump did. You can't hide from it. It's there. But do you want to see what's in front of you? And most people don't want to see that. You understand me? Kanye West, he put the mirror up to the culture and himself. You understand me? But do you want to see it? Same thing with Andrew Tate. The only reason this guy is so successful is because of the counter, right, to masculinity and manhood. Otherwise, he wouldn't be successful. So these are, both all polarizing men, right, in their respective fields. So you have to ask, why are they that polarizing? Because of the nature of the world, not because of those men. And there's different points in time they wouldn't have that success.
Like people are going to find out the truth, especially like during a recession, like the era that we grew up in, where things were like everything was okay. That veil is being pulled back. We're seeing a lot of truth come out at one time. And we need more people. Like for all of you who are looking to build a brand, or like, and I'll ask you, what do you think the biggest like media opportunity is in 2023? But there are not enough people just telling the truth. Even amongst all the red pill information, purple pill, black pill, all that shit, there is a space for a woman to come in and teach women how to be graceful and how men should interact to build family.
Man,
huge ass staff.
Boy,
it's all that. Yo, if a woman doesn't listen to me and under my authority, you gotta go get 10. Like the Fresh and Fit, I don't have no issue with them, but you can tell like they ain't had no girls in high school and college.
Yeah, and
that's where the anger come from.
And then nobody's probably going on there and telling them the truth. We talked about this in our episode. The truth is so valuable, but so dangerous. The truth is illegal now. You understand me?
Yes,
and so you feel like it almost feels criminal to speak the truth today, right?
Because if you tell the truth, you can destroy a company. Like the same thing I was saying about Meta, top of this year. So I just thought exercise. If social media, reels, and posting on Instagram is the formula to building a great business, then why isn't reels, posting on Instagram, and using their own platform helping Meta stocks rise? It's a Ponzi. They got us to focus on posting on their platform when their platform is falling apart and not on real KPIs.
Yeah, and they've with the cooperation with, I would say, federal agencies really destroyed a lot of the platforms' growth because they had to change their business model based on the cooperation.
Elon revealed that. Like Twitter literally had to take certain information and send it directly to you.
Right. And you can't build no business by you can't build a business with law enforcement breathing down your neck. because the things that will help your platform grow is appeasing to the users of that platform. So when you start creating,
you gotta get out. It's hood dynamics. That's what I used to think growing up in the hood was a liability. Talk to the guys. But when you get to see these different types of perspective from the world, it becomes an asset. Like they too are like, get out and lay down. You're either going to comply with us and come to the White House
that's a fact,
and push these initiatives, or we're going to fuck your platform up.
Yeah. And that's why he's put it out there. You understand me? So that people would know. And that don't mean he not going to cooperate though, because Elon is heavily tied into government contracts, but he has more leverage. You understand me? Like, so it was disinformation, misinformation, malinformation, and it was another one. And then it was giving a breakdown on deboosting, deplatforming, demonetizing, de-discovery. So it's like what I realized though during all of that as I was reading those reports, because I read them, is like you got to look at the influence that you do have and understand that this is deboosted influence. This is not what would happen if it was organic. When Elon took over Twitter, all of a sudden they took off whatever was on my platform, and my Twitter engagement grew 10x. So imagine if they did that with all of the social medias. You're not as influential as you would be if you was allowed to grow. Your influence is stunted. So that means that you're a much bigger star than you really are. So you have to account for another 10x, right? That they're not allowing you to have, but who you naturally are as a star. That's what would happen if, essentially you didn't have this degree of, deboosting and deplatforming that's going on. So
also too, if the margins are really thin on social media, which I kind of uncover and people are seeing now, if they want you to pay to play to get the exposure, why would they allow you to build your brand for free? But if social media said that, opposed to just having a boost post, and I told Meta this, why don't you just allow easily in the ad platform to allow people to be able to reach more people, and it's clear on what their cost is.
Right. That makes more sense. And
way more.
People are already spending money, and now the ads are not being effective. So you might as well switch up the business model. If I can get access to, all right, so this says I guarantee access to 50% of my people, right? This guarantees that
you'll pay for that.
Yeah, 100%. What we got to charge for 100%? It's almost, the number is worth it regardless of what crazy figure they come up with, because when you have access to people who genuinely interested and follow you, these are the exact people you need to be talking to, working with, selling something to, teaching. Like, this is your community. So it's like you spend years building up your direct target audience, and now you can't get access to them, but there's a number on the screen that says they exist and they know who you are.
Most people don't read the terms and service, so that's not an obligation of the social media platform.
There's 360 contracts.
If we want to talk Ponzi, there's two big Ponzi's, because FTX is one thing.
Oh man,
the streaming farms and Spotify and digital music is one, because all of a sudden artists went from selling 60,000, 80,000, that was a flop, and now YoungBoy's selling 22,000. So if he's selling 22,000, what is the up and coming artist selling?
Nothing.
In actuality, right? Ponzi number one. And then also on social media, the likes are there, are not there. The bot thing, I've been talking about that on Instagram forever. Like, they need to, and I asked, why don't y'all just clear the fucking bots out? Y'all have more than enough money. The truth is, they need the bots there for engagement, because you're only reaching 1% of your audience when you post anyway.
Yeah. And see, that's sad, because if Facebook was smart, as their money started to go down, all they had to do was release the algorithm, and it would have did exactly what Twitter did. It would have went crazy. People would have seen their followers going back up. They could have just brought in the old one, and they didn't have to bring it in forever, but you can have cycles. You have cycles where they release the algorithm, you have peaks, and then they have rest, right? So it keeps people feeling like the platform is alive because it feels dead right now, right? So Twitter felt alive regardless of how people agree with it or disagree with it. It felt like, oh, this is actually moving. He shows you the views. It allows you to grow. Tens of thousands of people are engaged with this thought. It, like, regardless if you like what's going on or not, this actually feels like what would happen if you had a common place and there's everybody's opinion being thrown on the platform. That's what human beings are. You're going to get some racism. You're going to get some bias. You're going to get some love, some hate. But to create a cognitive bias system to where you're only engaged with people who agree with you, you understand me? That doesn't feel real. Not if it's a public platform.
But if I didn't actually create the platform in the beginning, how would I know how to properly iterate on it if I stole the idea?
Yeah, that part too. That part too.
So,
But social media is.
Well, what are you looking forward to in 2023?
Oh man, what I'm looking forward
the
to.
Stuff that you can say.
There's well, yeah. The stuff
I'll put in the comments. I'll see you got that green screen up. I know you got some magic coming. That's not by accident. Your last few lives, I'm like, oh, he's staying in front of that green screen now.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to a lot, but there's some events that I'm looking forward to putting together. You know, I really want to shoot some movies and get into some acting going into it. I want to get heavy into production, you know, for 2023. I would say one thing I'm not looking forward to. I ain't gonna say not looking forward to, but this AI is probably one of the mainstays of things that if I look deep into the future, it feels dangerous. You understand me? So this predictive wise, the growth of AI in 2023 and beyond is it's just gonna be too massive, and the cat is out the box, you know, so there's no way to put it back in at this point. And I'm really scared for people, you know, that don't know how to think, right? They're tied up into low-level jobs, low-paying jobs. And then what society will become, you know, when it's fully ran by AI. That wasn't disrespectful. We picked up his son. That's respectful. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, how am I disrespectful? My child come first.
That's his son.
Now, my facial expression to it may have been disrespectful, but no, the kid is a priority. And this is the difference. And I'll say this too. There's a lot of people masquerading as if they're free when they're not.
Yeah. I don't want more attention than his son. Y'all some weirdos.
He's always going to come first. Secondly, too, if me, in the last 22 years, I've probably been to 23 funerals. At no funeral have I ever thought about business, KPIs, marketing, growth, none of that.
Ain't nobody talking about that shit.
Or my mom goes away. I don't give a fuck about none of that. That's what the thing, when I get erratic like this, I'm showing you I'm free. This matrix shit that everybody care about, man, niggas that act like they got all their shit together and have to be like so stern and proper because that bag not right in real life. He won't say it. Kids have more money than most people.
I ain't got no money. What is you saying? I ain't got no money. Hey.
You can tell freedom by how a person will speak, how quickly or slowly they'll move, and how often they'll pitch.
But you know, I've always been like this, Ian. No, you know, this is broke keys, and I ain't got no money. First of all, I just want to let y'all know. Broke keys was like this though. Like, you know, I've always had the audacity, and I've took more risks than, you know, most people say I should. But that's why I had to be most creative, because, you know, I knew that every dollar I made would have to come from me. It wouldn't come from an opportunity somebody gave me, right? Yep. So it changes the way you go about business. And then you realize, like, I can say whatever I want to as long as I'm the one paying myself, right? So when you have somebody that's a boss that looks over you, whether you making $30,000 a year or 50 or 100 or however much you make, you always got to watch your mouth when it's somebody, you understand me, that controls what you put in your mouth by the money that they give you and how much they pay you. So, you know, I would love for somebody to write me a big check, and perhaps it'll happen this year. But it's never going to come with censorship. It's never going to come with creative control, right? It's when you build on your own. Nah, that's not what is. You know, if some of y'all in the comments now might want to write me a check for a sponsorship on high-level conversations, but that's because
1.5, 3.6.
Well, you know, I think that'd be a nice check. Whatever, you know, we'll work it out. I think the number can be worked out. But, you know, I feel like I got the best platform to advertise on because we have some of the realest audiences. You know, so I feel like for businesses, for programs, whatever you got, as long as I feel like it's agreeable and in line with who I am, it's really the best. You dig? So, but what I'm saying is that everybody can be free when you pay yourself and you think for yourself. You cannot be free when somebody controls your mind and your will. And so you have to be careful. Like, I know the one thing that comes with success is enemies, right? So as with every level, you have to prepare yourself differently. I gave the analogy to my students yesterday in the BWO. I say, When I was working out yesterday, I messed up my neck because I went in there and I've been consistent. I'm on my Jonathan Majors right now, right? So I'm in there and I'm picking up. I go in there and I instantly pick up the 50-pound weight. Now, first, I'm feeling really good though. Like sometimes I go in there, I feel a little sluggish, a little slow. I got to fight through it. But today I just feel like this stuff is just too easy. And then what I realized is that I didn't warm up and I hurt my neck. And so it's like that to me was like an analogy in life. Like as you get stronger and as you become more successful, you're going to pick up more things, but every level requires a different level of management. Right. So it's like I didn't realize that now that I'm getting stronger and I'm picking up bigger weights, my warm up is more important than ever. You understand me? My stretch is more important than ever. How I manage that level is more important than getting to that level so that I can get to the next. Because now I got to take a couple of days off. I can't continue to be consistent as I was. So it's like you want to make sure that, you know, as you grow, you know, you're properly maintaining that level of growth so you can be consistent in that growth and you don't have all of these step backs. Like, damn, I done got here. I didn't notice that. Oh, I forgot to do this. Now I got to take a step back. Now I can't be as efficient, you know, and steadfast in my journey as I was. So I think that that's an important lesson in life, you know, and every time I make a mistake, every time I have a failed partnership or collaboration or prediction or whatever it may be, I'm just learning from it. You understand me? Like I don't care. The judgment that a person comes from my mistakes don't matter to me. It's the lessons that comes from my mistakes that matter to me.
Because they're often projecting too.
Yeah. And ain't nobody perfect.
There's a lot of people that'll project their fears, worries, concerns onto you.
Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has process. Everybody has, you know, failure. But, you know, like it's a good question that you asked about what I'm looking forward to because I think tomorrow I'm taking time to write down my list. And one thing I really want to get people to understand is that it's not about your goals, it's about your habits, right? So like, it is better to create new habits than create new goals because new habits reach new goals. So a lot of people create goals, but they don't have the habits to reach them. And so, you know, one of my habits has been going to workout. You understand me? Like I wanted to go to and create a new habit of consistency that gives me more energy. And that more energy when I'm back home, that works throughout the day to where I'm creatively flowing and I'm thinking and I have to put that energy somewhere. But when you create those goals, you fail because you don't have the habits. You're not the person that can actually become it. So are you reading more? Because you talk about reading. Are you studying? Are you researching? Right? And you have to be up to date.
From the Matrix, TV, media, social media.
Man, you got to just get you some nature in. I need to schedule going on to another island for the first week just so I can be in nature and decompress from the Matrix, you know, because it's like everything, like you said, you know, this is going to be a crazy year for Ian. I already know it. I think it's going to be a crazy year really for a lot of people. I think extreme growth. You already made a great prediction that the market will have some recovery in 2024, which means that this is an extreme accumulation year. You know, when I hear a prediction like that, some people just happy, but like, what are you going to do to prepare for the predictive analysis of the market right now? That means that during all of the ups and downs, it'd be more important for you to go through accumulation. But that means that if you don't have a trading skill, your money won't be coming from the market. And that means it has to come from other places, but that money has to be reinvested into the market so that all your work that you're doing now can be 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x, however things end up playing out. So your market, so that means that your work has the opportunity, whatever you make right now has the opportunity, if you put that into the market this year and things pan out to be better 2024, 2025, your work can be 10x its worth. So like that's the way I think about things in reality, right? You know, and there are so many things that's down right now. I want to ask you, right? We got NFTs, even though Trump did pretty good with his. We got crypto down. We got the housing market is bubbling. You understand me? Stocks is down. You know, what do you think? Podcasts are down. What do you?
Have they ever been up? If we're gonna be real about the podcast,
not really. Well,
if we're gonna be honest, and this question I asked Joe, and I'm the one that started this controversy. How many podcasts in the Black space make at least $1 million a year?
I don't think it's too many unless you have like
It's not 12.
Unless you have a YouTube channel that's really pulling in something crazy on numbers wise, or unless you're leveraging the podcast to make money. And the problem is, not a lot of people who have a media platform actually have businesses, right? Yep. So their only leverage is to have a business pay them so that they can make money off their media. So,
which is a huge mistake.
It's a huge mistake.
Like being a prostitute.
It makes no sense whatsoever. You can always partner with other companies, but if your company is not being leveraged with your own media, then you're missing a point of media.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that just doesn't make any sense, right? So, I definitely want people to, I would say this as a business model, it's more important to build a community and then build a business around that community rather than to build a business and then build a community around a business.
Absolutely.
So if you're just starting off, build the community, figure out the wants, needs, desires of that community, the problems of that community, and then build a business for it.
Yeah.
That would be my advice.
And actually be able to have the result.
Right. That would be my advice.
I see a lot of people selling shit, but they're not getting the result.
And that's sad.
I mean, podcasts are down, media's down, stocks are down. But if you find the right companies to invest in, I think most NFT, I've said it before when everybody thought I was crazy. Which is a recurrent thing. Like most NFTs have no value.
I think that's it's an inherent idea. So this is my analogy with that. 80 to 90% of businesses fail, right?
That fucked it up.
You said what?
It's a great idea, but the wrong players were in it and promoting it that fucked it up. Let's be real. When all the tech gains went away, most of the venture capital and AI ran to crypto to run a bag up because they had no other good ideas to invest in.
I agree with that 100%. 80-90% of businesses fail, correct? So with that being said, NFT projects were essentially businesses, startups, in a way that they were being presented with promises in the future and rollout plans and roadmaps. So that prediction should have already been factored into the fact that 90% of these have to fail because it's impossible for this many people to be successful at a new thing.
But it wasn't sold like that. It was like, get this NFT, and then as a result, you'll have our fame, notoriety, money, success.
And see,
that's why, like, even in how you market, you have to be honest. And going back to the truth, most people in media are not telling the truth. Everybody clipping shit up, putting out 2 posts a day. They're recopying Gary Vee's model from 2013, and he's dramatically changed how he even does content.
That's a fact.
If somebody would have came out with an NFT and be like, hey, the maximum value for this is probably $55 or $70. The low for it probably will be 20. Over the next 3 years, it will dramatically get better, but don't expect us to go to 300 and get a 5x return. More people would have understood that. And it would not have had the meteoric rise as others, but you would have had the drop of 95%, 80%, 99% of value as well.
And I think that if people actually looked at what the implications of the technology was for, rather than looking at it as a trading market, you understand, it would have been used better, because the implications of the technology still will be embedded into businesses. They're being embedded into businesses. Businesses are picking up blockchain still because they figure that this is still one of the most efficient ways. But the way that it was sold to the world is not that.
As a technology, you're selling games.
Well, yeah, but that's how most things get adoption, right? It's like, even with the retail boom of trading.
Money, baby, I'll buy you Chanel, I'll buy you a Bentley, buy you a Birkin, and then she's like, well, she didn't like me for me. Nigga, that's what you sold first. You got to take it up. Like, how you come in the game is how you going to go out.
That's a fact. But when you look at the vast majority of people, they still play the lotto. Like, the lotto has been successful since my grandma been playing that shit. You understand me?
That's
and so...
true. But they never said that 80% of people could win from lotto either.
No, they never said that. But also, nobody ever told people that they had to win. People assume the wins. Human behavior is modified by reward rules, right? Reward and punishment. When a person sees somebody win something, nobody has to tell them they're going to win. They make an assumption that if I interact with this, I could possibly win as well. So they make that risk assessment themselves or lack of risk assessment themselves, and they jump in. They didn't want nobody wanted real advice on it.
That's a good trade-off.
Yeah, nobody wanted real advice on nothing, right? Like I never told nobody to buy NFT. I told people to create one. That was the mainstay of it. Create one.
Yeah.
But everybody wanted to figure out what to buy, and I was never giving people advice on buy this, buy this. Now I did have one good student. He did really good on because he sat down with the fundamentals of creating his own fundamentals for it and learning how to buy, how to trade, and how to create them. And that was really the whole point. Like, this is a new technology to use to implement within your business. So, but I also think that those are natural growing pains of any new technology, right? Like, there's probably nothing that's been introduced that don't go through that same peak and valley phase.
Including tech companies.
Everything. So it's like, but human beings just won't ever learn. Like, I don't know when we're ever going to get to a point where even though human beings just seeing that same thing, they're going to take another level of caution to the next new thing that pops up. Like, AI is about to take over so rampant, and it's going to be everywhere, and everything is going to be so copy and paste and so machine made that we're going to have to label things by human and by machine. But there's going to be billions of dollars and millions of dollars made before that happens. You understand me? There's AI regulation is going to have to happen, right? Because once people have access to supercomputers and you can ask it anything, you're not supposed to be able to ask it how to commit a crime and get away with it, and it can give you an accurate prediction on that.
The first, and I'll say this from a publicly traded company standpoint, the first company that actually pulls off a quantum computer, and that's when we really gonna find out what crypto is valuable, because then they'll be able to figure out how to hack blockchain and brokerages and shit like that. Whoever gets that first, that is the holy grail.
That's the AI wars right there, because it ain't gonna be human beings fighting. It's gonna be who's building the best machine to go against the other machine. Like, it ain't nuclear weapons is no longer the greatest threat to the country, to the world. It's AI. You understand me? Like, if China has a greater AI quantum computer than the US, then they won. That's it.
Absolutely.
Like, I need y'all to really understand that.
GPT. Let's do a thought exercise.
ChatGPT is owned by Elon, right? They're partnered with Google.
Twitter with Google, and we team up. So that's like me and you teaming up, and we got this beautiful AI baby.
They're partnered with Google. Like, that's why I had first initially seen the thing that Google is afraid. No, Google is partnered with them.
Partner with the same street dynamics. Like, you're either gonna get down or lay down. The best protection is teaming with those that are bigger. BMF had the best model. Come get money with us. Now the question is if there's people that's not partnered with Google and Amazon, you understand me? So, it's dangerous for them. Dangerous. So ways Twitter will be better, because once they figure out how to get ChatGPT, and I probably shouldn't even say this idea, the main subscription I would sell right now for ChatGPT is automation of social media on Twitter to the top 1,000 accounts and have the best kind of tweets go out for them.
Yep.
Because that's why he put that viewer count out. Now, if ChatGPT can guarantee 1 million views per tweet and it's automated, what is that worth? And person as a business owner, I'll probably charge $5,000-$6,000 for it a month.
Yeah.
And they will pay it.
No, that's a super fact. And that means that, see, now it goes into a class thing, because now it's about who has the money, right, that can afford to have to be technologically superior, right? Sure. So if you look at countries, right, countries that are technologically superior, right, those are the top countries. So now it's being individualized, and now it's being democratized, right? Yep. So the money that you have will gain you access. Now, what I want to say about this, and this is what's going to a lot of people is going to realize, though, as I was using it, and I was realizing that there's not a lot of people that's smart enough to know how to use it, right? So it's like that pill with Limitless. He said it works better if you're already smart, right? Yeah. Now, you don't know what to ask the AI. You're not going to be creative enough to use it to build a business, right? Especially if you're getting the same advice as everybody else. If you already have skills, knowledge, and things of that nature under your belt, now Now you can use it because you know exactly what to ask it, how it can make your research process more efficient, right? Increase your learning curve, give you breakdowns on things that you can implement and execute. Now, here's the dangerous thing. Once it becomes live and it has access to the internet, and you can give it access to your social, and you can ask it to create a business for you, and it can run ads and it can do everything for you, it create a business model, and then it's learning from itself. There's going to be AI businesses and influencers that's going to be better than humans because they're going to be more efficient and less emotional.
Yep.
And they're going to be the shrewdest capitalists to ever exist.
Absolutely.
So like,
and then they funnel in all that data, and then all of y'all shit gonna get copied. Like, this is a brilliant, and also too, like, us using AI is a part of our downfall too.
It is. And then it's a catch-22 because if you don't use it, then you don't have the leg up on everybody else who's using it.
Down or lay down.
Oh man, it's a dangerous.
Come on, so somebody said this is like Westworld and iRobot together.
Yo, I'm trying to tell y'all. That's why as I'm listening, and man, as I'm using it, I'm seeing all these visions of the world to come. You understand me? And to be honest, I'm not liking it because the idea, the singularity of the machines becoming smarter than humans, you understand me, is inevitable. If humans continue to feed it the collective consciousness, it gets access to run wild. What's that show with that movie with Johnny Depp? And it's a movie with Johnny Depp, and it was about when the AI got access to the internet and he downloaded his consciousness into it.
Somebody put in chat. Let me look on Google.
Yeah, and it's funny because, you know, human beings are so destructive that our first assumption is that the AI would destroy us rather than create better ways to live amongst us, which is a very interesting, and it shows you how human nature plays out, at least those who have the ability to write the narratives for these things. You understand me? Because it's different that if, let's say, Africans create AI, would the narrative be the same, right?
Absolutely. So that'd be demonized.
Yeah, but I'm saying like their prediction for AI, the predictions that we know from AI all come from white men, correct? So what they're saying is this is what their consciousness would do if it had unfiltered access to the world's knowledge and information. It would destroy everything, right? But if Africans created an AI system, that would not be their prediction. Their prediction is that they'll create these vast kingdoms and worlds and all of these beautiful things. There are no beautiful predictions for AI because this is the way that the people with power will use power. So,
and then, I mean, also it goes back to who is funding all of the AI innovation and technology as a result to help destroy in order to own majority of market share, land share, mind share.
Right. So I just want y'all to think about that, because sometimes we think about the world based on someone else's conscious predictions, not from our own spiritual intelligence, right? And so I think that the curveball in the world is what we do when we get the technology, not the predictions of everybody else, because we haven't made our own predictions. We're only making observations on those predictions, which we're helping come to life by being fed a narrative, and people are building out that narrative in the technology, right? And so it's dangerous, but the world is made of billions of people. Oh, they got cut off. We was talking that shit. I gotta go back live. I know y'all on YouTube, y'all still getting this talk. Listen, this gonna be this is one of the greatest talks you gonna hear. Please, please, please pay attention and share this with your family and the people that you love. This is one of the greatest talks you can hear. So I'm taking the time out to share this with you all. You know we was talking too much talk, man. You know it was too much for him. But you know, I feel like, you know, like I don't have to. And the beauty of it is I don't plan on saying these things over and over and over and over the same way. Once I say something, it's going to live forever, and you got access to it. So it's going to be up to you.
I'm done. I just got back active on IG Live 3 months ago. Shout out Mark Zuckerberg. Shout out John Glenn. I appreciate you. Shout out Alvin. I appreciate you. Team, listen. They heard us talking that even in the audio, the AI can pick up certain shit.
No, they really can.
All of a sudden, we just went dark.
But
I'm listening though.
Here's the thing, though. So we talked about the grim, and that grimness can go deep. It can, like, that's a whole, like, it can just keep going and going and going, and no prediction can last forever. So let's do the opposite now, right? Let's talk about if you know, because when we look in the past, there was always stated that there were, you know, tablets that had all of the world's information and had all the knowledge in the world. And so that really sounds like AI to me, right? That's what it sounds like. At first, we thought it sounded like the internet. No, it sounds like AI, really. But okay, so let's say that what happens if we were to build AI, right? Because the intention of what you build does have a change, and the spirit in which you build has a change on the ultimate inevitability of what happens in that singularity. You understand me? It's like building your own God, but do you build a just God? You understand me? And so, you know, what do you see as the pros for AI?
If we build it,
yes,
we can have a lot more control. But it goes back to my question: is do we really want to be free? And if I'm looking at the actions and habits, going back to habits of most people don't want to be free.
No.
They want to be sheltered from the truth and reality of the sphere that we are in. But everyone should use the technology, because if not, like, imagine, like, right now, if you didn't know how to use a smartphone, laptop, or Google, and you're like, man, I'm gonna go through the phone book to find a recommendation where to go to eat. It's the same thing. Like, you have to learn how to use the technology, but the technology is the mechanism, like the quiet virus that will be introduced. Because even COVID was a theoretical test at scale to see what other plans could be implemented. And the virality of AI is 1,000 times more deadly than any lung or bacterial or viral infection can be. So if they implement this, it's easier to. And I told about last year, by 2030, they want 25% of their workforce to be gone. And my talks with some higher companies over these past few months, they want that to be 55%.
Yeah.
By 2030.
And see, that's why I said a lot of these layoffs, you think it's about low, you know, profits and revenue. It's about the fact that they can replace that workforce with AI, and they're using this as a cover up. So if there's any best time to just lay people off instead of saying, oh, we laying y'all off because of AI. No, we laying y'all off because we're going through a down cycle. You understand me? And revenue is not where it's at. No, they looking forward, and they know damn well they can get through this cycle and keep the same people, but they won't need these people. You know?
Even with supply chain, do you honestly think in 1 year that all the chips from TSMC and NVIDIA and AMD all went away, and there was a surplus of toilet paper and Clorox during COVID, and all of a sudden all the supplies everywhere just got gridlocked and nothing was delivered? That's bullshit. Like, if you know any supply and demand economics, if you keep the product in, you can then usher in new product to come in. That's why I say, like, growing up in certain environments, we don't look at the hood as a marketplace and then see, okay, you have different players, different market makers. So, like, if one product goes away, like when X Pills was big back in the day, okay, that got quiet, then something else came in, then that went away. And even with the trade politics between Mexico and China, the fentanyl coming in, like, you got to look at the holistic picture of, like, the changing of the guard. Like, that's why even when I tell you to study the market, it's not just for Apple, Microsoft, Google. It's to know when the waves and tides are going to turn. We're going through an economic, this shit feels like 1999 all over again.
That's a fact.
Like, so now, like, we are in the AOL phase of, like, artificial intelligence. The shit hasn't even got good yet.
Nah, and what we have access to is not even the good stuff.
Shut up, Frank. I appreciate you.
Just think about this for a second. Like, you know, imagine what just this is what you're getting a small glimpse of what these companies have access to, right? Like, If you build a machine that gives you ideas, you understand me, you're going to seem like a genius in front of the people who don't have access to that kind of machine, right? And so, you know, these people have machines that give them ideas, that tell them, oh, how should I run this business, or run this analysis, or do this, that, and the third. They literally have the Jarvis that Iron Man has, right? You just don't have access to it. If
the tech is showing us now, imagine what our amazing government has.
Oh my God. So how many people do they need? They don't need human beings. Now, human beings, don't get me wrong, we're not replaced yet, of course, because there are inefficiencies and capabilities in which the AI cannot imagine and think of yet. The AI can really only do processing based on what, you know, the collective human consciousness has added currently. Yep. And I also think that it's limited in the fact that the vast amount of AI does come from like European and Caucasian intellect. You understand me? The vast amount of AI is not really built around the central themes and African ideology, intelligence, and invention, right? And philosophy.
Hopefully somebody here watching will change that. But
right.
So I often hear these complaints from us and then we don't go do.
Right.
And we're so creative. Like if we got, how many people in here? Almost 1,200. If we got 1,200 of us in the room and did like a hackathon, we can build some shit in 1-2 days.
Bro, we really like, I really want to work. And this is all you all that are, you know, hackers, that are tech coders, engineers. Yes. Please send me an email. Let's work for 2023. First of all, I am 100% sure that you can build a $1 billion business using this AI technology. $1 million business is low-hanging fruit, but a bit like $1 billion. Like, listen, and here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Over the next 4 or 5 years, there's going to be companies that make $100 million for 4 or 5 people. Like, I just got introduced to a guy yesterday, 5-person team, no VAs, did $87 million last year.
Bro, as crazy as Bored Apes was, they still did $3 billion in revenue last year or this year. So it's like, and remember, you know, the idea of if really it's really a legitimate business now. It was overvalued. They still kept their value of all of them damn things right now in the market, which is ridiculous. But when you think about it, the idea, and this is all I was really trying to get to people, the idea of the fact that we can use an emerging technology to create the collaborations we always wanted to see, using trustless systems that were transparent.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
Take the racist elements out of it. Bored Ape probably had one of the best branding campaigns and leveraged Bathing Ape geniusly. But the back end, flawless. They built their own marketplace and ecosystem. Like,
yeah.
So I know they
built a successful DAO.
But like what they built was amazing.
Their DAO was successful. They got their own metaverse. They built brands, companies, products, projects, events, right? Like I seen culture, community, like, and they use, I've never seen a brand so quickly use all of the top celebrities in the world to push anything that fast.
And didn't get sued like FTX did.
So
that's good counsel.
This is what you are seeing. It's like even Gary Vee built a good brand out of it. His stuff is in Toys R Us. You understand me? So when you talk about that 10% of businesses,
and made a bag too,
a super bag.
If you are not, because Gary he made like 89, and then like the back end number I think it was like 280.
Oh yeah.
But had it been us and that value drop like that, see, this is the difference. Like they'll be at our doorstep with the choppers.
Oh yeah, see that's a super fact.
The value has to be sustained.
The value has to be sustained. And then it's like there are so many other ways that you can add value to it using the capital that you got from it, that I feel like is probably the worst part of the NFT thing, is that when you're getting hundreds of millions of dollars for something that costs you little to no money to make, the reinvestment of that capital to grow, right, the IP, and so that the people who actually hold on to your products, you know, getting a return, or the value of that product grows. I think that was what lacked the most out the whole space. And I don't know if it's just pure greed, but it didn't really make sense, you know, because your return is going to be better when you're giving other people returns. You understand me? And so taking another 20 million, 30 million and saying, I'm putting this right back into it. What's the problem?
But if most people are not looking to build for long term. Most people saw it as a cash grab, and they treated it like trap houses and like dope boys. Like, okay, let me run this shit up, and then I'll be good the next 3, 4, 5. Even in culture, we've had a talk for the last 2 years. Why can't we just get everybody to come together and focus on one project?
Boy, we tried.
Ego.
I would rather have
who's gonna get the perception? I'm like, no, we could have collectively, especially with the people behind us, and then everyone like having a collective voice and board seats and equity. Like, there's no reason that like 150,000 people, from all the people who love you, who love me, who love trap, who love EYL, shouldn't be making $100,000 a month and just royalties off of a collective business. But that goes back to foundation, generational wealth, having good friendship, right? Because for the first time in history, Black people don't have as many friends as they used to have. The family structure isn't there. So if you don't have no family structure, even like we had a tough conversation 2 or 3 months ago, but this is where like counsel and respect comes in, when you like, bro, it's my thing. I rock with you. Chill. As a man, I could be like, no, dog. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, you and Trap one of the few people that can be like, bro, you tripping. I'm like, all right, chill.
Yeah.
That's a respect thing. And culturally, like, we have to build together. And that's when we talk about the AI making change in our community. We can't get us to just work on one project together. That's why my faith is always low. When people are like, what if we put our voice and our insight and intellect into the technology? It's like, I can't get 95 motherfuckers
just to come pull up
to do one thing as a unit, let alone build a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure. Like, that shit sound good. That's what I always say. Like, when a guy was like, yo, you being disrespectful. Any person that puts the business ahead of their kid, you would kill me then. You give a fuck about your business and the money more than your child, you'll blow my brains out over 100,000. I'm straight. It's character. That's why, like, a lot of times, anytime when I'm doing something wrong, I go to Black women like, what you think about this? The reason why I didn't believe in NFTs, every person that I asked that were women, it was like, I don't see the value in it. I feel like it's scamming me, especially when you ask older Black women. They're like, baby, this shit feel like numbers back in the day. Some people will profit off of it. Majority of people gonna lose.
So but I will say, that's the reality of just about everything.
You think so?
I'm just saying, as far as
when you ask Black women about me and you, they don't say that.
No. I'm not talking about from the Black women thing. I'm saying as far as the percentages of people who have success in new things.
I would disagree.
What field particularly that when there's an emerging new thing that a large percentage of people, right, are successful at it?
I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I can say the American public education system, that skill worked.
I don't know about that one. Ian.
Let's go look at data and not opinion.
So 60% of, what was it? The good brother, the billionaire, says 60% of Black wealth goes to paying back debt from college education.
Yeah, I'm not talking college. I'm talking like public, like K through 5, foundation years.
But I'm saying, what metric of success? But that's not like a business. That's not like a thing that people are jumping into. I'm talking about from a standpoint that people are investing in. That's a necessity of society. And I still don't think it's successful, because most public education teaches people how to be low-level thinkers. Recognition, memorization, convergent thinking, only finding one solution to a problem. They don't teach high-level thinking, because if you do that, you teach replacement.
Can I be honest? Because that isn't taught, because the parents won't take the time to do so.
And the bigger thing is, they don't teach any of the skill sets you actually need within life. They don't teach you how to think. They don't teach financial literacy, credit, business, how to file taxes. None of those things that are actually how you manage yourself in life.
The American education system, in order to funnel people into factories, that's why we always go back to generational wealth, right? The purpose of that was to sustain the Rockefeller families and the branches that extend from them and the 13 families, right? That successfully worked because if everyone strive to be in corporate, that is a manifestation of his mind and willpower that you always talk about and scale to make some shit work. 95% of people, if they decide that I want to go into corporate, is a manifestation directly of what he created in the education system. Yes or no? Now, if we did the same thing amongst our community, we can have change, but we have to do so quietly. That's why, like, going back to the motion, that sounds radical. But if most people want to be employed opposed to self-employed, that system works for that family.
But we have one of the worst education. We don't even have the best education system in the world.
Is it our job to? We don't have the best food system.
Exactly. So it's not
immediate.
So if education was invested into to improve, I would agree.
And education is a technology and a product. That's the most successful tech launch outside of slavery. Slavery is the #1 product in America of all time. #2, the American education system.
Education system, I think, is one of the biggest scams in the history of the world. You understand me? Because it's a public education system that only educates you on public things.
We're arguing the same point, but saying it in a different way.
Right.
I'm looking at it from a founder product standpoint.
So, and even
it's a scam, but was it a scam for the Rockefeller family? No.
It was a scheme. I would say it was a scheme.
It was Google.
But it was the way it was sold was a scam, and it was a scheme. You understand me? And this scheme was not
it worked for
because
maybe 2 or 3 decades.
And the public education system is to filter you to the college system, which is definitely another scheme that gets the public in debt. So you understand me? This scheme goes to another scheme that goes to another scheme.
You want to have a real high level question, and this is Ian. This is not 19 Keys. This is not representative of 19 Keys and BWO nor EY or Rashad. If that's the case, as most people selling education in this space with no fucking results, is that an extension of that scheme there? We want to get to talking. There's a lot of niggas selling shit and they get no fucking results.
So, in what industries?
This is Ian Dunlap, Red Panda Rebellion. This is not a reflection of 19 Keys, Earn Your Leisure, High Level Conversations, Billy Carson, anybody associated with. Now, will we see the emojis coming in? Yes or no?
What was the question again?
Because I'm gonna be real. If the American education system is a scheme and scam, then most of the people selling information to our people, are they not scheming and scamming? No, I don't have no fucking results and not financially free.
So there's 2 parts to that, because part of the fact is that the public. Hold on. Let me answer. Because part of it is the fact that people don't know how to learn. So if you sit down there, right, because there's always going to be given a certain percentage of people who's not going to execute and take the information, even if it's good information and valuable. Because most people don't know how to learn because of the public education system. They don't know how to think for self. So when they're not in a setting of a classroom and they're not being guided through every single thing, because most people need coaching and not courses, right? Which is a completely different thing. You need somebody to actually walk you through it step by step to stay on you to get the results. But when you're giving a course and you're left to your own learning vices, right? And most people are remedial, right? And they don't know how to learn new things. And they may be in their 30s, sometimes they're in their 40s and 50s. You're going to get different levels of results based on their own human capabilities. So that was also part of public education, not teaching people how to learn and think for self. So you get new information. Like, let me say this. When you get new information as Ian Dunlap, you know how to think, you know how to research, you know how to execute, you know how to put things in proper steps, do project management, right? Now, somebody else that grew up in the same city as you, same age, they might not have the same mindset to be able to execute. So they get the exact same information, but they don't do anything with it. So there's 2 parts.
The difference between, because if we made a top 10 list of getting results, there would be probably like 5 slots left open. I can arguably say that you and I are people that are able to get results at scale. If I've made you money, please put yes in chat. And if what I'm saying about this extended education scam is hitting, let me get some laughing emojis. But
I mean, and I agree with you, but I'm just adding the, additional part to why a lot of people don't get results in their life.
If you're not able to get a person a result, you can't teach. So if I tell a fella, yo, go grab your girl, put in the shower, shower her, be faithful to her. Oil up when she get up, put the pillow up underneath her, go inside and put your hand down on the stomach. You're going to get an outcome 80% of the time. A lot of these niggas who are talking
crazy.
have not achieved the motherfucking.
This guy's crazy.
Ladies, yes or no?
This guy's crazy. Hey, listen.
That pushing on the stomach do something different.
Listen,
if you know
man.
what you're doing. So I'll say that to say, if you're able to get outcome and or result, I should say, hey, start shorting Amazon at $89.
All right, so
fall down to 130. People are teaching a philosophy.
So listen, because you correct on that. Now, the people that actually listen to you get results, correct?
Yeah, especially if you put two pillows underneath her and they Tempur-Pedic and you push down on the stomach.
And if they don't listen and they don't execute, they don't get results. That's the other part. How many people, how many people they would buy a course and not even go through it?
Tell a woman, if I'm a high value man, so if you don't cook, I'm like, I've never heard a man that's high value actually say that he's high value.
Now listen, how many people buy a course and don't actually go through it?
You know why they don't go through it?
No, but how many people, like percentage wise?
Probably 50. I'll say this, because I can tell my experience from you. When you, even at Revolt, and it was dope to see that, because I'm like, oh, you really having your mind. It was hot in the motherfucker, boy. You and your family was there. Shout out Steve.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing people gravitate to you, right? So I know how people gravitate to me. Pac, my favorite artist. The way they coming up to you and like, they almost scared to talk to you. Because they like, damn, am I even smart enough to have a conversation? King, can I grab a picture with you? The graciousness that I see, that's because of impact, not theory. When people come say, man, I fuck with you, Invest Fest, all the snipers came 300 out. If anything go wrong, they in there strapped up. Niggas got AKs and they fucking pants and shit. If anybody fuck with you, same with you. There's some people in Atlanta, boy, that'll shoot down all the Lithonia over you. That's because of result. We have too many people talking about theory.
No, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing, but what I'm saying is that there's two parts to that. There's the accountability of the student and the accountability of the teacher.
I'm learning the story tell. I got the music, Patrick. But the reason why people won't go through the information because subconsciously they know that shit is not working for them. But the reason people won't open a course, because you don't have an issue. You put out some information, people going through it.
Well, yeah, because you know what I do in every one of my courses that I do or programs?
Get results.
I put a room for results.
See it on you. Okay, let me ask you.
And I'm harsh on people. I'm not always that person that's going to tell you the nice thing. I'm like, I only want you in here to get results. Because I put a room in there. It's called the Garcia Room. The Garcia Room is based on the story of the letter to Garcia during the Cuban Revolution. And the guy had to take a letter across an impossible battlefield. And he did it against all odds. He didn't have no help. You understand me? And it was a story of determination and willfulness and not needing that you need more than what you already got. So if I give you the keys, if I give you a step-by-step, I give you the breakdown, the information, it is your responsibility to take that, then get results.
Okay, I'm going to be super honest. There are too many motherfuckers in this space talking about shit that they're not doing and then trying to sell it and then wondering why people aren't listening. That's why I would say even in the investing space. If you were investing prior to 2020, show me the screenshots. I was financially free before anybody knew who the fuck I was. This is why I talk like this. You had results and ran shit up before. That's why I would be like, go out there and fucking shit. Don't hold back because they insecure and people want to play the media game and shit. No. And I'll ask the women, can you feel that he is free and I am free, whether you like my personality or his or not? All that being super agreeable, that's like what I look at in this space is a lot of people who act like the boyfriends who don't have the money and the girl taking care of the rent and all the food and the vacations, and they're agreeable because they don't have nothing to bring to the table. What are results at?
Yeah, results is everything. Now, let's get back to the AI because we agreed to agree. We're not even in disagreement. It's just different elements of the conversation. I believe that most people, you know, I talked about it. You're right. A lot of people go lose their jobs. Graphic designers, editors, you understand me? Artists, you know, a lot. Those will be some of the first jobs to just disappear. You understand me? Because people won't need you. And a lot of you all have skill sets that are easily replaceable. And there's going to be a lot of protests from the artist community, but it won't matter because it's going to be too late. You understand me? Because people will not go back to using human artists when they can just type in prompts inside a machine.
But if the artist typed the prompts, if I was an artist, I would use the prompts to make 1,000 creations a week.
And if you're an artist, you actually have a leg up on an average person because you know how to type in more descriptive prompts. You know how to type in more descriptive prompts to get better results, right? So if you're a storyteller like Shakespeare, and if you describe a scene, you can describe it in a more colorful detail to where the AI can utilize that language and then turn it into a better prompt. So the more you like, I was creating something, you know, in Midjourney, and I used Johnny Ives. I said design like Johnny Ives, 3D, 4K. Or if I'm telling it to design a website on ChatGPT, I'm gonna say, you know, put UI/UX, so it knows to design it in a certain manner. But if you don't know this knowledge, you're just telling it design me this, design me that, but you're not putting any details. So you still have to have knowledge, because it's like if you and I use this analogy, if you got the smartest people in the world working for you, you won't know what to tell them what to do. They might have all the knowledge in your head, but if you don't have knowledge in your head, you can't even give reference to tell them what to do. If you don't have a vision and you don't have imagination and you don't have a big vision for them, you do not need the smartest person in the world working for you. No, you need low-level people. And so this AI is like having the smartest person in the world working for them, but most people won't know how to maximize the value. So we're going to be the generation that is born. There's going to be a generation born with AI, just like there's a generation born without it. There's a generation that was born without social media, right? That we were actually outside. And now we're going into a generation that is born with AI. So they won't listen to nobody. AI will become their parent and their guide.
Yeah. Also, too, creators, make sure when you're, I'll say this, like the #1 art company, if they decided to be next year, could be Lensa. #1 NFT. Did you guys read the terms of service? So when everyone was uploading all their pictures and getting all that data, and they're making money from B2B, business to government, and business to consumer, which is amazing. Anything that you uploaded on their site, they can use those works and derivative works of it in perpetuity.
And that was created by OpenAI. That was created by OpenAI. This is actually a very smart conversation, because that was a business that generated millions of dollars, and it was a smart way that they utilized ChatGPT to write code for them. You understand me? And so what you all have to realize, like, these are $1 million opportunities out there that you have the opportunity to create whatever you want to. What are you going to do with it? And see, this is the separation between people who actually have real ideas and who know how to execute, right? Because if you are not creative and you're not willful and you're not an executor, this technology means nothing to you.
If people are calling and texting you about what I said, tell them to call me. It was not your views or a reflection of what you thought.
Oh man, I don't mind. You know, I as I grow in success, people are gonna want to pick apart everything that I say, everything that I do, everything that I did. And so, you know, that's the beauty of having real people around you, people who know you, people who've been following you for years, is that they know what you mean. They were there for you for the journey. New people and outside world, they're going to probably, you know, run with whatever narrative. There's people on here that may not like me, people on here that may not like you, but they still follow it because they have feelings for us, right?
Yeah.
So a feeling is whether you hate it or love it, that's still feelings, you know. And if I can give y'all a word of advice, you got to check yourself, because it's dangerous to be following people that you that you dislike, right? And so change that frequency to say, you know what? I actually don't dislike this, brothers. You understand me? I actually enjoy them, right? I just want to learn with them.
Maybe you've been lied to so long that when you hear the truth, it disrupts your spirit, because now you have to admit for the last 8, 9, 10 years, 1 year that you've been lied to.
Yeah, the truth is, like I said, the truth is illegal. You understand me? People don't, nobody can really dislike me because they don't know me. They might not like the fact that I say, you understand me? But you know, that's
brilliance even in that. That's a chorus. If they don't know any other content, they know that.
Yeah, you gotta have, but that helps you create feelings for me. Like I said, as long as you have a feeling for me, you have feelings for me, whether it's good or bad. So it don't mind. But now you have a place for me. There are so many people that we forget because we have no feelings for them. To like somebody or dislike somebody is not a strong enough feeling to have permanent residency in your head. So you live in a lot of people's heads rent free when they develop feelings for you. So I'm not mad at that. Polarization is key to remembrance. You understand me? So you all can use that if you want to, but use it in a good way, because what I do in my life as I'm a young man that's just learning and developing and growing, y'all get to see me outwardly make mistakes, outwardly grow, outwardly build myself. And the only difference between me and somebody else is they're making their mistakes in the dark. I get to make my mistakes in the public. So, I don't put myself under any harsher judgment, because if somebody had to say through every time that they criticize you, criticize yourself. You understand me? For everything that you report on somebody else, report something on yourself that you've done. Then we start to see how balanced the world really is. Like, damn, I actually made the same mistake that he made, but I'm criticizing them for making it.
Yeah. Often when people criticize, they're criticizing the things that they don't like in themselves.
Yeah. So I don't mind that. You just have to be, you always have to be louder than the people, you understand me, who are your detractors. That's just the goal. Right? You always have to make sure the algorithm of thoughts that's geared towards your brand, your marketing, your position in life are always louder than the people who's trying to build off of you. So I expect that. I was thinking, I said, man, as you grow, you're always going to have enemies, but expect it and be flattered by it and continue to build.
Make them on the way though. But yeah, and then also like, it's tough because I struggle with it, but even show love for your enemies.
Yeah, and it's about also having those people on your team when it's time to go to war. You understand me? So some of you all that's really rocking with me, got to stay on the team when it's time for war. You understand me? If you ever got to green light somebody, you got to have people on your team that can handle business. You dig? Yeah. So that's a key important metric in business.
Before I get off,
everybody has a handler.
That's true.
They just revealed Elon's handler, the guy that handles all the business for him in the background. We ain't in the background no more, but he be handling it. You did. But anyway, man, this was a great conversation. This will be saved on the YouTube channel, so it live forever. But, this conversation about business and AI, going in 2023 and developing new habits and being able to look in the future is very key. And I think the most important is about how you develop yourself and your own thinking, right?
Absolutely.
If you get access to the greatest technology in the world, what are you going to do with it? A lot of you all will be limited by your own thinking, your own imagination, your own creativity, and your own ability to execute. So it's like a person saying that, I want to do this, that, and the third. And then the person said, well, here, I got the funding for you. Now you got to actually put the work. Now, or a person said, well, here, I'm going to give you 10 people to work for you, but you got to manage them. So now a lot of the cap is going to be spread out between people who have goals versus people who have results.
Yeah. And I love it. That's the part I do love.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you, and I love you too, man.
Yes, sir, man. Enjoy your New Year's. Yes, sir.
I'll probably be out there for a few days. So.
All right. That sounds good.
All right, man.
Peace. So there we have it. I want you all to really pay attention to that. If you are in tech, you are in engineering, tap in with me. We can build. Some of you all send me some presentations that I don't feel like are really worth the time. Don't hit me up and be like, Keys, I want to do this. No, if you don't have a full project, a deck, if you don't already have a business that's already making capital, if you don't have a full structured out thing, don't hit me up. You understand me? That's because I'm not going to give it my time. You understand me? And it's disrespectful, right? But going into this new year, into this new world, I've been talking about AI since 2018. And I've been trying to give people, the keys to be prepared. The greatest thing that I do, I feel like, is really trying to prepare our minds, because, our mind is where everything else is brought out. You can have the greatest access in the world, but if you don't have any efficient thinking skills to be able to utilize what you have access to, you're going to lose. Right. And I want to see us win. I want to see us have more wins. I want to see us grow. I want to see us develop. You understand me? And that's why I teach, the BWO is strong. We sat there, man, it was going too long last night. But it's like what I realize as I teach, because now it's about becoming a better teacher, is that a lot of people need coaching rather than courses, like somebody that can actually help take you through these things rather than just give you the knowledge of them. AI will give you the knowledge and it even spit out the steps, but it cannot give you the proper teaching and coaching how to develop your mind to be around a positive and a powerful community. You understand me? To grow and develop and have that level of access. That's what's more important. So, like I said, do not just search for the knowledge, search for the mindset to use the knowledge, right? So, inform yourself so that going into this new world, you have a new mind, right? And you can execute at the high level. Executive skills is the key. The link is in my bio if you want to join BWO. Even if you want to test it out just for the month of, January, tap in, you know, the cheat code algo is an algorithm that was created by the cheat code brothers, Quay and Jay Hu. So I partnered with them in the BWO. You understand me? As you know, this is the second iteration of the BWO. And so we brought it back. We learned from the failure of the first one. You understand me? Came back, came stronger than ever, had some new partnerships, and we continue to build. The first one I had the idea, and so I didn't want it to let it die because the partnership within that did not foster out what I wanted it to. And, things did not turn out great as far as business wise. So now we pick up from, what we learn and we move forward. That's life. You never sit in your shit. You understand me? You got to get up, you got to wipe your ass, and you got to keep moving. And so that's life. You dig? So 2023, we're going for more greatness. We're going for higher levels, and this lessons that I've been learning this year is just learning how to be more structured, how to create and foster deeper, meaningful relationships, and really to be present within self. And so for whatever I do next, my next step won't require the same level that I'm doing now. Every step you go up, it requires a new level, right? So like what got me here, this thinking, is not going to get me to where I want to be next. It's like you can make $1,000. That same thinking of making 1,000 won't get you to 100,000. That same $100,000 mindset won't get you to $1 million. That $1 million mindset don't get you to 10 million. That $10 million mindset don't get you to 100 million, right? Each developmental stage in life requires a new thinking. And so what I'm going through is this process of taking inventory of myself and my mind, right? And figuring out, exactly who I need to become, right? Reflecting on the lessons that I have learned this year, over the past years, right? And becoming better and moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Like I always say, you can be mad at who I was, but not who I am, because I'm no longer who I was. You understand me? I am today. I am not yesterday. So I appreciate y'all, man. If you want to see a replay of this, go to my YouTube channel, 19 Keys. You understand me? Subscribe there, and you will be able to watch. If you want to join the BWO, text BWO to 323-577-6692. We do 3 days of live coaching every single week. We even have physical fitness in there, financial, which is taught by Quinn J. Hu. And then I teach, mental engineering, mental optimization, giving you the keys and the skill sets to be able to develop your mind. And then we also teach AI, Web3, blockchain, business, things of that nature on a every other week Wednesday class. We're going to be heavily focused on AI going into January, all the different ways you can utilize it, some of the pitfalls, downfalls, pros, cons, ways you can monetize off of it, the whole nine. So that's something that you feel like you can benefit from. We also have our app launching January 19th. The app is done. So BWO has its own app as well, community app that you all can be a part of. So, I look forward to, seeing what this can develop out of, especially given, the past failures. And that's the beauty of it, is I study entrepreneurs who have done great things. They had to get past, the missteps in order to get to the great steps, and we on the great steps right now. So I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. High level conversations will be bigger than ever this year. I'm working on creating some new shows. If you want to be a part of high level conversation, Send us your budget that you have for sponsorship, and see if we can have your business rotating on High Level Conversation. You understand me? So when we get those views, you can be a part of the process. So think about what budget you have for your business and what awareness that you may need for your business and the eyeballs that you may need people to see. Building a brand and doing the marketing is very key to anybody's business. It is the lifeblood. If nobody knows your business exists, then nobody can support your business. So I appreciate y'all. The cycle continues. You understand me? Let's continue to build. Let's continue to grow. Peace, family. Stay high level. So listen, I appreciate y'all being a part of it. As always, make sure you like, share, subscribe. That subscribe button is key so we can continue to have growth. Share this build to somebody you feel like needs to be a part of it. BWO is currently 200 a month. I think we can run, 577-662. Boom. So there it is. So join in, tap in. You have a beautiful and blessed day. Information is free. It's up to you to do something with it. Peace, family.